Humans, born to create, but born afraid to create. We are constantly pulled between stagnation and growth, between life and death, evolution and expansion or extinction. Are we bored or are we overstimulated? Are we sad or just tired? Experts tell us we are depressed. They say we are sick. We have a virus in our programming. We are built like machines. What goes in determines what goes out. We are built like machines. But we are not machines. We are fluctuating flames, both inspiring and inspired. We are the essence of consciousness, the very current active being. But we must ask ourselves, what are we being? What kind of being have we become? Let's go back to the basics. To be or not to be? That most certainly is still the current question. Our fiery essence decides to fuel our fleshy machine or not. You can die of a broken heart, or even boredom can kill you. A few days not moving and your body will stop moving and become paralyzed. One good pause and it is over forever. As couch potatoes and desk slaves, we are flirting with death. Why is the temptation to slip away so sweet for some? What are we escaping from? Is it the cold, technology-changed world? A place where we are not needed or wanted, where we are beginning to see ourselves as a plague to this planet, not as efficient as a machine, and not as beautiful as a sunset. Boys and girls are feeling displaced and useless. What good are we, and what substance do we have to offer? Will it just be beaten out of us by those tired of failing to claw their own way to the top of our dwindling food chain? We watch them fly and fall for our own selfish entertainment. We are left with some immediately gratifying feelings that burn up our hopes and dreams inside as we watch others blow away as quickly as we will too. We are afraid to live and too comfortable to die. So we hole ourselves away in our debtors' prisons or roach motels and clutch a piece of metal that tells us stories and makes us laugh. Perhaps we began to lose our humanity with the invention of the impersonal transition of information. We no longer spend hours of painstaking emotion and tact scribing a handwritten piece of art and waiting weeks after for an equally arduous reply. You see, you can't see the soul in a text, so you are left comfortable and numb. Where is the danger? We used to break up in person. We used to slap and get slapped, say a dramatic farewell, and disappear into the sunset on a horse. Or we stayed with our partners until they perished. Now we just passive-aggressively texting each other. People now, all around me, say that life is meaningless. But maybe we were once the meaning. We once brought the meaning to the story. The story was us, our feelings, our hopes, our dreams, and our conquerings over death and wild things. Now we just watch the story from the sidelines. apathetically conforming to the role of the paying audience, a bored audience, who out there relishes in their role anymore. Again, Shakespeare said, all the world's a stage. Why are we not playing and performing and feeling? I want to scream at everyone that I see, get yourself into character, or if you aren't there yet, get yourself a character. Fake it until you can make it. Then fake it some more, because you never know who is watching. Who could you inspire and play with? Then, when it's time to close the curtain, don't say, that was a lot of to-do about nothing. Step back and think of the bigger picture. The story. Then take a bow and say, good show. When you are dead, maybe you will get good reviews, or maybe you were Hitler. But one thing is for sure, if you can become present and dissolved in your role, then you will at least be talked about. There is immortality. There is the mythical fountain of youth. Become an archetype. Become something, for goodness sakes. However, I do not see this kind of attitude around me. When I look out into a crowd, I see a moving body of islands. Merriam-Webster's dictionary defines depression as a sunken area forming a separate space. I understand that is not the clinical definition, but it is a great representation of what happens to a depressed person. They feel separate and low. Everyone gets into a funk, but when does it turn from just getting the blues to a personality change? Am I researching depression, or does labeling it allow it to continue and exist as an acceptable norm? Can it be termed as an illness if a majority of society, entire waves of people, are not only feeling it but living it? From my viewpoint, I see the masses forming a culture wave of apathy. Almost everyone I come across has a lack of interest, enthusiasm, or concern. People just want to be fine. They are terrified of not being comfortable. But fear is a fuel. It can drive you to fight or run in the name of survival. People's bodies are pressure cookers of chemicals and subsequent thoughts and feelings. With any pressure at all, they need release valves. With constant pressure and the overuse of the same valves, perhaps those connections become rusted and break or explode, leading to depression, suicide, violence, or deviance, which would be like someone creating a self-fix for their valve, like using a hanger to unlock a car. Either way, something is not working. We are broken and broke. We all slave around and die lethargically, stuffing chemicals in our faces and numbing our mind into a passive learning state with the TV. We are too sick to care that we are sick, and we are passing the sickness onto our children. We shove them into a room with a tablet and a TV and hope they survive, because we are barely holding on, even with all of our pills and advancements in technology. We don't care about anything but comfort. We don't care about anything, and we can't care about anything if we don't pay attention to anything. According to the National Center for Biotechnology Information at the U.S. National Library of Medicine, the average attention span of a human being has dropped from 12 seconds in 2000 to 8 seconds in 2013, which is 1 second less than the attention of a pet goldfish.